Okay, well, welcome, folks. We'll get started here. First of all, can everybody hear okay? I think we've tested everybody. Bruce, can you hear okay? Yep. Can those who need it, can everybody see the captions at the bottom?
You see them too?
Okay. Again, we can take questions. We're going to have several different topics today, but you can take questions by raising your hand or using chat. Also, I encourage you to, once again, fill in the evaluation that's at the bottom of the Zoom invitation that went out this morning. So get started. Lauren is going to start the meeting off we always start off with a tour of the virtual demo center because it is forever being enhanced. Lauren keeps making it better and better. So it's your show, Lauren.
Okay. What I wanted to do today, I noticed that everybody who's on the call has most likely heard this before. So I'll go through probably a little more quickly, but I want to concentrate today on the categories and the types of problems that could solve for you. So can everybody see my screen, which is our chapter's website, the homepage? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the first place. Again, just to review, that's the place you would go to get to the virtual demo center. So here's the homepage, hearinglossrochester.org. You click on virtual demo center, and then you have to scroll down a little bit. This part here just talks a bit about the live demo center, which is closed, and it shows a few sample devices. But you get to the virtual demo center by clicking on that icon down there. And there we are. So the first thing you can do if you've been here before is just click on the red button to go to see devices and more. And I heard a number of beeps, people entering, so maybe I will just be a little more careful here at the start and mention a couple things. One, that we have these different images on this page, which is the main demo center page. And on each image, there's a lot of information behind each image. So you just click on the image and it'll take you to that area. We're going to talk more about demo center devices today. If there's a question, we may talk about smartphone and tablet apps over here. Hearing aid accessories from the manufacturers. And again, this is a place we recommend you always start if you're looking for an assistive device, because probably the manufacturer knows, well, they do know more about their devices and how to connect to them than any third-party product. So that's a good place to start. If you see devices, but you want to do a little extra searching, you can go to this image, click on that, and that will take you or give you a link to a vendor, just one of the many vendors that are out there. But that vendor happens, I included that vendor because they have a guide to help you choose something that might help the problem you're having. And then over-the-counter hearing aids are becoming a much more popular subject recently. So we've updated this area a little bit to tell you what they are and sort of some of the information around that. There's a learning center that has some videos to help you see animations of things like how your ear works, how hearing loops work. And I think we even have a number of tips from our tip guru, Eric. We have videos of Eric in here as well. Also hearing venues where you can find like grocery stores or concert halls or churches, houses of worship, movie theaters that offer some type of hearing assistance for people who are hard of hearing. And then finally, we have just a couple sources mentioned here. These are sources that we've used, and we can at least speak to their reliability. All right, so let's go to, unless there are any questions about that, we're just going to go right to Demo Ctr devices. And this seemed to work pretty well last time by just showing the various categories and then just briefly talking about the kind of problems they can help you with. So let me first of all run through the categories. It's personal listening and accessories, hearing on the phone, amplification type accessories, and then hearing on the phone, and these are called captioning products that you can get. Then hearing and induction loop devices. And finally, alerting devices. So I'm going back to the top now. And the type of devices you see here can be helpful if you have a problem like, suppose you're in a restaurant and you have trouble understanding because it's noisy in there. One of these devices, the personal amplifier, Pocket Talker 2.0, can be used to sort of pick up the person across the table or people across the table. Basically, you sort of point the device at them, although it's not really a directional mic. It does help you. You move that mic closer to the person who's talking. There's a personal listening system from Williams Sound, or I think they're called Williams Audio now, something like that, which has a receiver and a transmitter. So if you're in, let's say, a classroom and you're sitting, even if you're sitting in the front row, you might have trouble hearing. So before the class starts, you would hand the transmitter to the speaker, and you would have the receiver here connected to, let's say, a headset, or if you have hearing aids, a hearing loop could be plugged in. And that will help because you'll hear the speaker as if the speaker was right in your ear. There's microphones and shotgun mics that can also help you using with a device like the Pocket Talker to pick up voices around the table or to pick up voices in a noisy environment where you're pointing right at them. This is a directional mic. There are some newer technology products as well that you might consider. And these, I would say, are probably more, well, they're still applicable if you're in a person-to-person conversation because they have, actually, I believe 4 microphones, 2 in each ear. And so you can pick up sounds around you and people talking around you, and the sound is amplified through that little box which sits in the back, where around your neck. But the added value of this is if you have trouble hearing the television, let's say, or you want to stream from your smartphone, maybe stream music or a podcast, and you don't have Bluetooth enabled headphones or hearing aids, you can use a device like this, although I have to qualify it. This is probably more applicable for somebody who does not wear hearing aids, or for someone who, in those special situations, wouldn't mind just taking their hearing aids out and putting the earbuds in. And they can be very effective for people who have a mild to moderate, maybe even the start of a severe hearing loss, like I do, because there is an associated app that goes along with this product that you use on your smartphone. And that app will perform a hearing screening test, produces an audiogram similar but not the same as the audiogram that you would get from a visit to the audiologist. And after that audiogram has been produced, it's downloaded into the amplifier. So now anything you hear through the microphones or through streaming gives you a pretty good representation of the kind of hearing that you would get from hearing aids. If you have very, very severe hearing or profound hearing loss, this probably will not help you. In fact, in a couple of cases that I know of, the person who was taking that test couldn't even hear the tones that are played by the app to help you figure out where your hearing threshold level is. So there is a qualifier that goes along with it. By the way, this device also can be very helpful. This is a little different. It's from the same manufacturer as these two products, but it has speakers built right in here. So when you wear this thing around your neck, you can put it in speaker mode, and the sound, rather than, you don't have to use these earbuds. The sound will come right through the speakers, and being placed to your hearing aids can pick up the sound. It's probably not good if you have a quiet room and a lot of people listening to the same program on TV or whatever you happen to be streaming, because you're going to pick up all the sounds in the room. Okay, so does anybody have that kind of problem? I mean, trouble with the TV, trouble hearing in a noisy situation, or just even one-on-one in that situation, maybe in a restaurant or whatever, even if not too
I have
noisy.
a TV issue.
Okay, George?
Yeah, the TV is a biggie for me. Otherwise, you know, my hearing aids are okay. What I wind up doing is I have headphones that are attached to the TV, and I put the headphones over the hearing aids.
Okay, and I did that too for a couple of years until my hearing got a little worse. And I used that and also captions. So I had the captions turned on the TV, and I heard it through the earphones. But the problem was, and eventually got worse, is that I couldn't understand the dialogue very well. It was louder in my ears, so it always helps if somebody speaks up a little bit. But there's a limit to that. You're
Right.
still not going to pick up the consonants which give you the understanding of the words.
Mhm.
Yeah, in that case, the number of things you can do, I think. The first one I would think of, when you get your new hearing aids, those Phonacs, you will be able to buy a TV, I think it's called TV Link device, the little box that's connected to your television set. And that will broadcast the audio directly into your hearing aids.
Yep.
But
And
if you,
it works great.
yes, in fact, I use a similar device. My hearing aids are older, and I use it's called the Compilot from Phonak. And also the TV Link, which sits next to the TV and is connected to the TV's audio. That broadcasts to the Compilot device, which I wear it around my neck like well, it's just a wire that goes around my neck and then down into the Compilot amplifier. And I can pick that up with my telecoil. So I turn my telecoil on, and I mean, it's amazing how all those things work, like Eric said. So you might want to evaluate that as a first step, George.
Yes,
But-
I don't know what kind of TV you have, George, or how old it is, but that can make a difference in terms of what audio outputs are available on the back. The nice thing about the Phonak connector is it'll work with headphone jacks, infrared jacks, you name it, or optical jacks. If you have any problem with it, we can talk you through that too.
Okay.
And for anybody who might be on the call who doesn't wear hearing aids yet, maybe is considering them or doesn't think they have that much of a hearing problem, but they do have trouble with the television. products like this, all of these, can be very helpful because of what I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
They actually adjust for your hearing loss. If you have mild or moderate hearing loss. And paired with this is the device that would connect to your TV. It's just a Bluetooth transmitter. And you connect that to your TV audio, and it will transmit to this device that you wear around your neck. So, and the device compensates for your hearing loss, so you hear very clearly with that. So that's the first category. Are there any other questions about this?
Lauren, you may, given George's question, may want to again illustrate how you get to the major makers pages to show what they offer. For instance, there's a description of the TV connector on the phonic page.
That's a good point. I'm going to go back up a level. And then we will look at hearing aid and CI assistive accessories. These are the accessories that are available from the manufacturers themselves. So if we look at Phonak, things are slow through Zoom. It takes you to the hearing aid accessories page of Phonak, and then you can see the various products that they have. I'm going down until I find here is the TV connector. That's what it's called these days. So you buy this, plug it into the TV, and it broadcasts to your hearing aids. There's a procedure you have to go through to pair with your hearing aids, I believe. But after you've done that, you don't have to do it again. Whenever you turn your TV on, you'll be hearing audio directly. There are other options too. I know one that one of our members uses is a remote mic. I don't think it's a Phonak, but it's a different brand of hearing aids. And he places that next to the TV speaker. And he said that works quite well. I have a remote mic too, and I've tried it. You have to position it carefully, but that does work. Okay, so let me go back. Unless any question here?
Hello.
Okay.
No, thank you.
Okay. All right, so back.
Hello.
It's taking a little time to get there, isn't it?
Hello, hello.
Who's talking? Somebody I think was saying hello.
That was me testing my audio.
Oh, all right. All right, so back to the demo center devices. Let's look at the other categories. Now you'll notice there will be a lot of overlap for how you can use the devices for the various problems you're having. But if you let's say you're having problems on the phone, your hearing isn't too bad, let's say. You have a little phone amplifier that you can put over the old traditional AT&T type phone over the speaker. It even works over some cell phones. And all it does is just strictly raises the volume level. That can help. There's also a phone amplifier that you have to plug it into that coiled cord between the phone base and the headset, and it will amplify. It also has a little bit of a tone control, which can help to some extent, and it has a boost button to increase the volume. Then you can buy amplified phones, and I've shown 3 of them here. One of them is a cordless phone, and then 2 different desk phones. I think we actually have one more in the demo center. But these really do a pretty nice job. They have a very high degree of amplification. They also have a tone control. So again, mild or moderate hearing loss, they can possibly be of some help. I even I brought one home and plugged it in and tried it here at home. And even with my moderate to severe hearing loss, I could tell it was a marked improvement. Caption phones. So for people who really have trouble hearing, I mean, more trouble than I just mentioned hearing on the phone, you may want to consider getting a caption phone. You can actually see what people are saying when you have a caption phone. There's a captioner who is on, let me just go there and see if we have anything that's more explanatory. But first of all, the caption phone is available free of charge through a federal program to anybody who qualifies. And you qualify if you're basically your audiologist signs a form that says, yes, this person needs a caption phone. And here you can see roughly, I hope you can see that okay, the kind of thing you would see with that phone when you're in a conversation with somebody. So there's a person, now right now in today's world, there is a live captioner who is sitting on the line listening to what the other person is saying. They don't listen to what you're saying, but they're recording everything that they are saying, and you can see that. The technology is starting to move to some extent to automatic captioning. So you'll see some products like, for instance, smartphone apps. There are some smartphone apps also that are basically caption phones, but you don't need to have the caption phone itself.
Yeah, I would just add for everybody, the voice to text is available on smartphones. It's a free app and you self-certify. So if you use a smartphone, there's a number of programs available.
The FCC has just authorized at least Caption Call. I don't know about the other two guys to switch over to automated captioning when they run out of live agents, and they expect that only to happen about 0.5% of the time at the moment. But it's basically a limited test to see if automated captioning is going to work for them. I think that's going to expand over a while because the FCC wants to pay the companies less for automated captioning than for live captioners, so that the money doesn't run out. So they've been arguing about that, but that just got passed about a month ago.
And Bruce speaks authoritatively on that. He's installed a lot of caption phones for a caption call. So.
I saw 3,100 of them. Yeah.
Oh boy, I didn't know that.
Plus or minus a couple, but yeah. Yeah. I know something about this. There's a new model of the phone out that if you get one now, they'll give you the newer model. It's like the older one, but the screen's a little bit bigger, and they rearranged the menus a bit. It's a lot more intuitive than the previous one. But it's still a pretty good unit. The other thing about Caption Call above the other two guys, Captioner and Clear Captions, is Caption Call has an amplifier in it that amplifies. Forgot what it was. Forgot the number. It's louder than any other phone in America is allowed to be. They have special license from the FDA to be able to amplify it. I think the top end is 140 decibels. I know, Eric, you're gonna scream, but if you're completely deaf, you can do 140 decibels. But I had a customer who it was a 101-year-old nun who was in the medical end of the residence, and with over by Allison Park, and she hasn't used the phone in 30 years, and we're trying to get her to use the phone, and she's I haven't used the phone in 30 years. Finally, the priest that was in the room picked up the phone, turned it all the way up, and called her on the phone and said, "Hi, sister," and she said, "I can hear that." It was wonderful. And that's why I kept running around the state for 30 years. Yeah, for 3,000 units. All right, next.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and as I recall, you had a hard time deciding to retire, so you must have enjoyed it. If I could just stop for a second at this point, is there anybody who has a question on what we're talking about, or somebody who might like to tell us about the problem that they're having and see if we can address it and narrow in on something that might help?
I have a question for Bruce. This is Fred Bruce. Is that a secure line on caption call, or is this something that can be picked up by outsiders or whatever?
It's encrypted between your phone and the captioner's listening post. So the SIP connection between your the audio going to the captioner and the text coming back is encrypted.
Did not know that. It's good information. And of course, you can't be responsible for the call lead parties end because you don't know how secure they are over there. Okay, so I'll move on then to the next category, which is hearing and induction loop devices. And these really are for facilities that you might go to, like an auditorium in a classroom, or even, let's say, at a store, at the grocery store like Wegmans, where they have hearing loops installed for hard of hearing people with telecoils. So for instance, let's just look at probably the most likely case right now. Well, first of all, if you're in Wegmans, for instance, and they have a device like this, you won't see it probably, but if you see that sign on their window, you'll know that they have a portable hearing loop there, which means that, and especially these days with the plexiglass separating you, the person behind the plexiglass will have a microphone that they can speak into. It'll be amplified by this device, and it'll create a magnetic field that is projected out to you. And if you have hearing aids, you can press your button or use your app to turn on your telecoil, and then you'll hear what they're saying very clearly. Likewise, if you have let's suppose you have an induction loop receiver, which you can buy for, I think, around $100 or so. Maybe you don't have hearing aids or you don't have a telecoil in your hearing aids. You can use this device, which will also pick up that signal from the telecoil, and plug in a headset, just a lightweight headset, and you'll again hear what they're saying. It won't be nearly as clear because you don't have compensation for your hearing loss in this case. And for people who do have devices like, for instance, who I want to say is, for instance, in that situation, let me think, I would be wearing a neck loop, this little neck loop, and I'd plug it into that induction loop receiver. And then the signal from this device up here would be amplified through the receiver. It would be picked up through my neck loop. And that neck loop is really a mini, it creates a small magnetic field that will be picked up by your hearing aids when you put it in telecoil mode. There's also an amplified neck loop, which gives you a higher signal. This doesn't work very well with my phone. For instance, if I want to stream music or stream a podcast and I want to hear it through my hearing aids, I can plug in the passive neck loop, but my phone doesn't have enough power to drive that neck loop to a high enough level that I can hear. So I would use a product like this, an amplified neck loop, or you can use the passive neck loop with a small amplifier, portable amplifier, which, by the way, I forgot to mention, but that's going to be included in our demo center next year, our live demo center. And likewise, this device, which you saw on the previous page, has a telecoil built in. And then there are also a fairly inexpensive set of earbuds that you can buy. I think it's around $75, and they plug into your smartphone. So the earbuds have a telecoil. So let's say you're in a looped environment. You turn the telecoil on, it picks up the signal, it goes into your smartphone, and to be processed and comes out of your smartphone amplified into the earbuds. And furthermore, if on your smartphone you have an app, like an equalizer app that will boost the frequencies that you're deficient in, it could actually help you to hear more clearly as well. Any questions on any?
Yes, I have a question, Lauren, Sue. On the neck loop, and you're talking about, because you know I use this one that is right there. Do you have a picture of the portable one that you can use with the regular neck loop?
Oh, sure. I'm going to have to go out and find it though. And it's called My Pen.
What is it called? Like what?
Yeah, it's called, the name of it is My Pen, or the brand is My Pen.
My
This is the one that Bruce told us about some time back. Sorry for all the scrolling, but I'm looking for, Amazon always does a good job in showing this. Well, maybe Best Buy does too, let's see. No, they're just telling us where Best Buy is located. That's not a lot of help. Oh, there it is.
My Pen?
Yeah.
My Pen.
There are a number of different brands. In fact, this one isn't even My Pen, but it looks just like it. So it might be made by the same manufacturer, but just has a different product name. So here it is. This is the amplifier. And Sue held up that little amplifier that's built right into the neck loop. But if you have just a regular neck loop without the amplifier, you plug it in to the earplug jack that you can see right there. And then the other end is plugged into your smartphone or your computer. But if you're streaming from a smartphone, you would plug that into the other end.
So
Yeah.
you can use it on your computer and on a smartphone.
Yes, you can use it on a radio. I mean, anything with an output that you really would like to have something they call a line output, which is a constant volume output. You could also plug it in if you have just a regular speaker output too, but then you have to adjust the radio or the TV volume down to a level that's comfortable for you, and then fine tune with the knob right here that adjusts the volume on the amplifier. So that's a little trickier, but it works.
Sweet. Thanks, Lauren.
Sure. Okay.
Lauren, this is Fred.
Hi,
For
Fred.
some reason, I'm having trouble with the system. I had a notification come up on my screen saying Zoom was adjusting the system for me. And I'm having a problem here. So I'm going to have to leave. I don't know what they did. I lost the whole picture. Now I have it back, but it's not working properly. So I don't know what Zoom was doing. So I'll leave this time.
Fred? Hey, Fred?
Yes, go ahead.
That sounds similar to a problem I have once in a while. I have an older computer, which I'm about to replace, but it's not real powerful. And sometimes with all the video that's coming in and with Zoom running, it'll throw up a message that says low system resources or something like that. And then you know that that's the case. That's why you either freeze or you lose audio or audio and video.
Okay, as I say, I'm having trouble with the audio here. That's where seems to be the problem.
Okay.
So as I say, I'm gonna leave this meeting. I'll watch for it when it's taped and play it back again.
If you want to give Charlie or me or Dan a call back, we might be able to help you diagnose it a little further.
Okay, all right. Oh, everything. Okay, I'll get back to you later.
Okay. See you, Fred.
See you later.
And then the final category is alerting devices. Usually in the demo center, we get very few people who are looking at these because it seems that most of the people, at least that I've seen or talked to, have moderate to severe hearing loss. But if you have very severe or profound hearing loss, something like this, an amplified ringer with a strobe light might be good. And that can be connected into your doorbell or your phone. Here's another version of it that can be connected into the doorbell or phone. And both of these have very loud ringers and strobe lights as well. There's they call it the sonic boom alarm clock with a bed shaker. And this can be useful too if you have trouble hearing the alarm clock. It has a very loud alarm. And you put this under your pillow or mattress, and it will wake you up. It's very powerful. Then if you're traveling, there's a little, or even at home, you can hang this over your door, and people knocking on the door will activate a sensor in this device, and the strobe light will start flashing. So that's about it. And I think you've seen almost, I think you've seen all of the devices that we have in the demo center today. And in the future, we're going to have a couple more, which I'd just like to talk about briefly, because I think you could be interested in this. So I'm changing my screen size just so I can grab another frame to.
Hey, Lauren, Barb Rice has her hand up.
Oh, hi, Barb.
Hi. Yeah, I just wanted to say I have a fire, smoke detector that's hooked into our smoke system in this house, and it has a strobe light on it and makes a bad noise. So they put that in when I moved in here, because I'd never hear a smoke detector otherwise. But it is available, and it'll hook right into your own system.
Yeah.
That's something actually that we've talked about adding to the demo center from time to time, but we figure, how the heck are we ever going to demonstrate that?
Right.
And if we could, we drive everybody out of the room.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, very. There are a
Lauren,
number.
but
Hi.
I think just if we had that in the demo center, just showing that it's an option, because I bet many people never even think about it.
That's true. That's
And
true.
so just having it available and showing it, I think could be very beneficial.
Yeah, it's a particular interest to folks in senior homes who are notoriously slow to install such things. If we could find one that a person could install themselves, in other words, one that heard a smoke alarm and then sounded its own and set off a flash, that would be great.
I think I've seen some that can be plugged into an outlet. The smoke detectors.
Yeah.
So let me find this other. Here is one device. If I can get it into the picture. Just bear with me for a second. There we go. It's a device that we've been talking about in the chapter for a little while. It's called the Smarto. And it's made by the same company that makes those headsets I told you about. But it's a handheld device. And let me see, I'm looking for a picture of it as well. What I wanted to point out to you first, if you would remember that link and go to it, I can probably put it on the chat screen pretty quickly. It's about a 15-minute video that explains it and demonstrates it. So you get a feeling really for how well it works. So I'd suggest taking a look at that if you think you're interested. The other point about this is that they haven't introduced it yet. They say it'll be released early first quarter. And they're offering it at half price right now. So you can buy it for $99. And I ordered one for myself. I'm trying to get this picture over to you. So again, please bear with me for just a second. Here's the online store. This is what it looks like. You can see the regular price will be $190, but the important point about this, one thing that's really interesting is they have an emergency call button on it. The other thing that's very interesting on this is, number one, for people who may be severely hard of hearing, it has a 70 dB amplifier in it, which will shake the rafters almost. So it will help people who need it. It also works with the Be Here app to give you a hearing check. It generates an audiogram and then downloads it into this device. Now, the way you use the device the way you use the device is to plug a headset in if you don't have hearing aids, or plug a neck loop in if you do have hearing aids with a telecoil. And then it connects Bluetooth to, let's say, other devices like your smartphone or that little device that I was talking to George about earlier, the TV Link. They have one that they sell themselves that I showed you earlier as well. Be Here does. And this will connect via Bluetooth to that device, which plugs into your television. So you can hear through this. In fact, even though I wear hearing aids, I ordered it because I know there are situations where I'd like to use this sometimes, especially maybe if you're traveling, you might want to carry the transmitter along and just plug it into the TV set in the hotel or at people you're visiting, and then use this. So it's also got a mic that seems quite directional based on that video that I put on the chat. When it was demonstrated, the woman who demonstrated it turned it, had it pointed towards herself. In fact, she was using that to give the demo. She talked into it, and then she turned it away from herself, and you could hear her volume decrease very significantly. So I was pretty impressed by that. So that's one device to think about. And then another device is the amplifier, which I just showed you. And there's a third device, which maybe Eric can talk to if he's still here.
Yep.
And I'm going to bring up the picture, Eric, while you start talking about it.
Okay.
I think this is it.
There it is. Yeah. In fact, I've got one here in front of me that's going to become part of the live video or the live demo center when we get there. This is cheap, but it's completely self-contained. There's a transmitter, a receiver. It's a UHF, so there's no time lag. Works about 8 hours on a charge. They're both rechargeable.
Eric?
Yeah.
What are the most likely applications for that? Where would you tend to use that device, and how would you use it?
I've used it at the breakfast sessions I have with a group I belong to. Set this transmitter in the middle of the table, stick this guy in my pocket with a neck loop, or you can use an earphone or whatever, and it picks up everybody around the table. Using it with a neck loop and my phonic hearing aids, it automatically turns off the microphones in my hearing aids, which means the background noise goes away. So it's really very useful. The device, as you see it, the transmitter and the receiver is only about well, $35. If you add a neck loop, you're looking at another $30. But for $60, you've got a wireless external microphone that's really phenomenal. It's got a push button volume control on it. And I found it's really terrific. They're available right now on eBay. You can get them on Amazon, but the vendor on Amazon has really jumped the price to where it should be. But you can get the same item for very reasonable price on eBay.
Sue?
What do
If
you
you
call
buy,
it?
go ahead.
What do you call it? What's the name of it?
It's called an SKK, it's sugar kilo transmitter, radio transmitter.
Okay.
It's got a long name, as you can see here, wireless lavalier microphone system. And mini rechargeable, blah, blah, blah. But basically, that's what it is, just a UHF transmitter and receiver.
Yeah.
And
My
in fact,
question for Eric is if you buy it on eBay and you said it's a much more reasonable price
Yeah.
than Amazon, is it still brand new? For
It's still
$30?
Absolutely brand new, comes with a hard carry case. It's an amazing piece of technology, really.
Well, how can Amazon then charge so much more?
Well, Amazon is fronting it for a third-party vendor.
and the other thing is Amazon relies on the convenience.
Yeah.
It's easy to get to. And by the way, if you don't like it, you can return it to Kohl's.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can't do that on eBay. You have to first of all, make sure that it can be returned, and then see if there's what the shipping charges are if you have to send it back.
And do you have to pay shipping charges if you buy it on eBay?
I did. Yeah, it was shipping included when I bought it.
Okay. Yeah, they vary on eBay.
Thank you.
Depends.
Yeah,
It'll
yeah.
say free shipping or you gotta pay. So it's
Yeah,
like Amazon. Some stuff on Amazon, you gotta pay for shipping.
right. It depends on the actual vendor.
So I have no more to talk about here, except if anybody has questions or would like to bring up any related subjects, why feel free to just jump in and start talking. Do you
I
want
would
to tell
still
us?
like to know more. Why the red wireless lavalier microphone system? How you can buy that for such a reasonable price when Williams, and what did you say? It's not Williams sound anymore, it's Williams what?
They're now called Williams Audio.
Audio. How can Williams Audio charge what, $600 for something that looks exactly like the same thing that is like 30? There has to be
It's not the same.
some difference.
The Williams Audio is an FM system,
Yeah,
where what Eric is showing is a different type of radio frequency.
Well, actually, Dan, they're both outside the FM band. They're down at 72 to 76, I think it is, megahertz. So they're really in the same band.
So what's the difference?
I'm sorry, let me just clarify what I meant to say, and you're correct. It's a frequency modulation that's being used for the device, but
Yeah.
I was thinking it's outside of the, what do they call it? The broadcast FM band, 88 to 106. So,
It's a lot like these neck loops. So this is a Williams neck loop. And if you buy it from Williams, you can pay upwards of $80. If you buy it on eBay, I paid 21 for this one.
And it was brand new?
Brand new, still in the packaging.
Wow,
Yeah. The
okay.
Williams Audio is a very good brand, and it's a recognizable brand, and you're paying for their brand. So, but the Williams Audio is more geared for people with hearing loss, where what Erica showed, not necessarily for people with hearing loss. You can use it. That's what the way you described it, but it's actually being marketed for people that doing audio and video, creating movies and stuff like that on the spot
Right.
with cameras. And
Yeah, the popular use that it started marketing as is with a camcorder.
Yeah.
So rather than using the microphone that's built into the camcorder, that's quite a distance from the subject that you're shooting, those types of UHF microphones are used to transmit wirelessly from the talent, who can actually, they can get a lapel mic, and it transmits it right directly to the receiver at the camcorder. But then a lot of people figured out, hey, I can use this for something else.
Right.
The other thing I want to clarify, Lauren, maybe you can help me with this. It might also have to do with the range. I know that the Williams FM systems, I can't think of any even large facilities. It's able to broadcast from the transmitter to the receiver great distances. I mean, you're talking 700 to 800 feet. In fact, we were a Lifespan, we were able to use the Williams FM. I was in the conference room and we sent somebody out in the parking lot and they could still hear just fine. I don't know if
Wow.
UHF units have that type of range.
Thank you. And if I can ask another question right now, the whole time I have been using this device, when I hear anything, not when I'm talking, but when I'm hearing things, when I'm hearing people speak, there's like a squeaky, crumply noise that interference. I don't know quite how to describe it. I've been sitting here trying to determine how to describe it, but it's an interference that I'm hearing. Well, when I'm using this, does that mean I need a new battery?
I've experienced that when I'm near electronic light dimmers. I'll get interference. Sometimes a fluorescent light ballast will create interference. It's mostly in my hearing aids. I find if I change the mode of my hearing aids, it tends to go away.
Sue, I'm sorry, I missed the first part of that. Were you talking about your hearing aids or were you talking about the FM transmitter receiver? I missed that.
Well, I don't know. I've got my hearing aids turned to the microphone and this is turned on, this device.
Uh-huh.
And it's only when someone is speaking. Now just say something again, because now the whole time Eric was talking, every time he would say a word, I would hear crunchy noise.
That's the first thing I would do is replace the batteries,
Yeah.
Okay,
just to try that.
I'll go try it right now.
Oh, I didn't know she would do it right away.
I think we got 5 minutes left, right?
Yeah, that's correct. We've got just about 5 minutes left.
Should I stop sharing now or?
Yeah, I think if we have any other questions and we can go from there.
I notice here that they do project, or they do tell us what the range is on that microphone. They say it's 65 feet.
It's not as far as the Williams audio.
Okay, I'll stop.
Yeah.
I just wanted to comment that on that Smarto device from Be Here, that also has a charging cradle, so you don't have to monkey with batteries.
Yeah, that's, I really like that. You don't have to plug anything in and out either. Like these little micro USB connectors. Every time I want to charge my phone, I have to pick up the phone and look at the, look at it and look at the cable. Otherwise it doesn't fit.
Maybe after this meeting is done, before we shut it down, I have a video I'd like to share and see what you guys think. It's
Oh.
about what a hearing loop is and how it works. It's like a minute something long.
Let's do it.
You want to do it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just make sure, Dan, when you do screen sharing, if it has audio, to click that little tiny box.
Okay,
that says Use computer audio.
yeah, I gotta find it. Here we go. Here comes Fred. Share sound. Okay. Hopefully it's not too loud.
This is the sign that means a world of difference for people with hearing loss. That's because any facility that has this sign also has a hearing loop. Hearing loops are widely regarded as the most effective, easiest to use, and most trouble-free assistive listening technology available. While most people with hearing loss have hearing aids, they do little to help them hear clearly in group settings. A hearing loop, however, sends clear, pure sound from a sound system directly to the user's hearing aid without any distortion or background noise. Now, the vast majority of hearing aids, whether old or new, already have what is known as a T-coil or telecoil built in, which just needs to be activated by a hearing professional to use a hearing loop. For example, here's what a typical group presentation sounds like to someone using just a hearing aid.
Good morning, everyone. Today we're offering the following activities.
And here's what it sounds like to a hearing aid user with the help of a hearing loop.
Good morning, everyone. Today we're offering the following activities.
Unlike other assistive listening systems that require headsets, hearing loops are the only solution that uses the unique tuning to each person's individual pattern of hearing loss and doesn't require any additional equipment. And as you just heard for yourself, the difference is night and day. You can easily find all hearing loop enabled venues near you by downloading the free Loop Finder app for your smartphone or by going to loopfinder.com. So, the next time you see this sign, know that for many, it means experiencing the gift of hearing that makes their ears smile.
Thanks, Dan. That was excellent.
That's great.
Yeah, that's a great video, and it might do well to put it in our tips and what have you. The only thing I'm wondering is it makes it sound, they said most hearing aids have T-coils. Unfortunately, today, most manufacturers are trying to get away from that. Even though the ADA supports it and so forth. You can typically get T-coils, but you do have to ask for them.
By the way, that video, if you go to the, excuse me, to the virtual demo center and go to the learning center image, click on that, you'll find that video there as well.
Okay.
Folks, I'm going to stop the recording. It's now 1 o'clock. And